But let me give you a little bit of background about why we're hosting this chat room in the first place. Mental health issues should be a priority for governments around the world, not just in the United States. The stigma, the social stigma that is associated with this. And if there's one message that I would like to get across to people that are attending this room today, is that post-traumatic stress disorder isn't something you did. It's not something you're born with. It's something that happened to you.
You see a gas tanker, and I see a bomb that hasn't exploded yet.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so
like a dead dog on the side of the road.
Those kind of things can happen 10, 20, 30 times a day. And so what a lot of folks do is, which makes a ton of sense, is they say, well, that feels so lousy to me, I think what I'm going to do is not leave my house.
Yeah.
And that does work in the sense that you can eliminate a lot of triggers that way, but it doesn't lead to the most meaningful, enjoyable, satisfying life, because you end up making your life sort of smaller and smaller and smaller.
And I did that really at first. You're exactly right, David. I did that at first. I just became a social recluse. Never leave the house unless I had to. When I did leave the house, it would be like just go to the store, get what I needed to get, come right home. Would never go to shopping malls. You know, I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be a part of society.
I didn't go outside. I stopped seeing my friends. I stopped seeing everybody. And people that were I thought were my friends stopped being my friends. I was only able to go into the store late at night, after midnight. I was only able to get gasoline for my car after 10 o'clock. Or sometimes I would go shopping 30 miles away just to avoid interacting with people. So it is an absolutely torturous experience.
The one thing I can say is that a lot of veterans, the Army teaches you, it has a weird way of hiding your injuries. When you're hurt, you don't want to go to your command and say, hey, I'm hurt, because it's a sign of weakness. So there's a lot of dudes in the Army who are out now, veterans, who will deny they're having symptoms of PTSD, even though they are, because they think it's a sign of weakness. Oh, you're a weak soldier. You're an old wolf in the pack, per se. And that's the Army's thinking. And it's really messing up a lot of veterans, because veterans don't want to willingly come forward and say, hey, I'm having these issues, because in their mind, they're still thinking, hey, I'm on active duty. If I do this, I'm going to have repercussions for it, or I'm going to be viewed as a soldier who's shamming or trying to game the system, And I've seen a lot of that in my day.
And there are things that you can't do or can't do easily now as a result of your injury. In the same way that if you lost a leg, you wouldn't be able to run a mile in under 6 minutes without working on it. When you have less than one half of 1% of the population serving in the military at any given time, you are truly a minority when you get out of the military. And if you live in a place like the Bay Area, for example, in California, you really may not run into a lot of – there are veterans here, but you may not run into a lot of other veterans, and that's very isolating. Most important resource, in a sense, I don't mean to sound cheesy about it, but it really has to be you. The key is to look in the mirror and to read up on some of these things and say, I didn't want to have this. I don't deserve to have it. I didn't deserve to have the experience that I had, but I have it, and I don't want to keep living my life this way. I'm going to look for what's available, and that's so difficult to do. So I'm not minimizing it. I think it's incredibly difficult to do, but to just get a hold and say, I'm going to go find someone out there who knows what they're doing and how to help me. That's the beginning of opening the door to what I think are often a lot of resources that are available.
It's really important that we talk about mental illness not only in the American context, but in the global context. And
absolutely,
it's really important that the United Nations and the world we want are hosting this conversation, and that we know that mental health needs to be a part of the conversation.